as we've been hunting for a place to stay for the night each night, sometimes it's been an Airbnb that we've been welcomed to. There's a little motel here that we've been welcomed to. And then there's this a lady here. I'm not going to spoil her name in case she doesn't want the publicity, but she's been great. She's let us crash at her place a few times in the basement. And this is all this out of the generosity of the people who either run these facilities or would be renting a room in these facilities. They've been very gracious and have been kind of giving us these places to stay. And it's this generosity across the board. And it's the people of Coutts as well. The lady here is a local. All the people here in Coutts that we've come across, I think, have been very supportive of what's going on here. And by proxy, I guess, because we're the only people who really properly are trying to cover the other side of the story, they've been very welcoming to us as well.
If I could add one more thing to that, the lady who actually facilitated most of our stays here, last night she said she was getting out of here and she wanted to tell us that she actually she said hated. She didn't like Rebel News at all. And she said that we changed that for her and she loves us.
Well, I think you guys have been really great brand ambassadors for us here at Rebel News to the entire world, because the world has really been watching your work. I guess my next question is, what's it like? You just told me about the one lady who said you changed her heart and her mind about Rebel News. How do the truckers and the blockaders feel about your work there?
I think they're really appreciative of it. I think they see that mainstream media is just kind of taking them through the ropes, so to speak, and trying to shoot them down as much as they can. And then they see our reporting and they actually really appreciate it. And for a lot of people, like, not everybody knows who Rebel News is, right? But for a lot of these people who are learning about Rebel News, they're actually very grateful for what they're seeing.
And what I think is really funny is last night, it's not the first time it happened, but I was drinking a pop in the corner, just surveilling the room, and I heard our sting, and I walked over and the guys there are just watching the report. And it's like, guys, you were here, and they're just watching the report. They're like, hey man, this is you, and I was like, yeah, but you're here. Yeah. And you see the signs on the tractors that are rolling all through southern Alberta. We have billboards up that we at Rebel we didn't do. It's the people here who are saying, if you want the truth at Coutts, follow these guys. So I think they love us here.
I saw that billboard that you tweeted that's in Tabor, Alberta, and somebody out of just the generosity of their heart, but also in a quest to inform the rest of their community about what real news is. They have a billboard up that says, like, if you want real news about the convoy or something to that effect, follow Rebel News. And then, there's True North underneath. But we're featured very prominently on that. And we don't even know who did that. Somebody just did that out of the goodness of their heart. Guys, I wanted to ask you, because as I said off the top, I think you guys are a very interesting part of this story. You guys are two young guys from Toronto who packed up your entire lives. K2, you packed up your girlfriend too, and just decided we're moving to Alberta. I guess we'll go, before we get to that decision, let's go back a little. What made you want to work for Rebel News? We'll start with Kian, then we'll go to Sid.
It was actually what everybody calls him now is K1. My dad, he showed me a video and he said, hey, I know you want to be like a investigative journalist, but this guy's got the same name as you. And this was like 2 years ago. And I was like, whoa, that is weird. And I guess ever since then, I've just been watching. And at the time, I worked in the music industry. I didn't like what I was doing, but I would just keep watching K1's reports. And then I would get into you. And then I would get into Ezra. And I was like, this is awesome. This is just absolutely nuts.
I guess for myself there, it's kind of long-winded, the answer. But when the whole pandemic thing started, I right before it happened, I was actually a roofer. And then I switched to doing kitchen work so that I could do school. But then the pandemic shut down my opportunities at school for electromagnetic engineering. You can't do a welding class online, right? So that kind of took me out of the education system. And then I kind of was free floating, didn't know what I was doing, but I was heavily observing the politics around everything that was going on. Of course, that's when most of the chaos was happening in the States. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I was kind of, in this abyss where I didn't know what was going to happen. And I was quite literally going to hop on a freight train in the middle of the night and go anywhere because I was sick and tired of the city being stuck in this quarantine world. And that year I put out one resume and it was for Rebel News. And the reason I put out that resume to Rebel News was because I knew there was nowhere else in Toronto I could work without a mask. And so I thought I'd go for it. And I got the job, of course. And that started off as me being the mail boy. And then slowly, you know, it was like, hey, we need a couple of socials edited. Can you do a little bit of editing? And then it was, hey, you know, can you hold the camera and shoot for David Menzies? And then it was, hey, here's the microphone. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And it was a shot in the dark for sure. And I'm very grateful that it happened.
If you'd like to get access to my show as well as other great TV style shows too, like Ezra's Nightly, Ezra Levant Show, and David Menzies' Friday night show, Rebel Roundup, just go to rebelnews.com/subscribe. That's rebelnews.com/subscribe.